You're watching for airplanes, you're listening to anything that moves. It's not easy work, I don't care how you look.
This is how we make the moonshine.
The Discovery Channel's reality TV series Moonshiners is a documentary-style drama that follows the lives of several people who produce apparently illegal moonshine in the Appalachian Mountains of the USA. The show's point of interest document the production of the alcoholic beverage, the lives of the Moonshiners, and their constant struggle to evade law enforcement. The Appalachian Mountains, where most of the filming for Moonshiners is shot, is spread across the state of Kentucky, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, as well as Virginia, which happen to be the hotspots of moonshine popularity in the states. Despite being a documentary series about supposed illegal dealings, the show has mostly avoided any friction with local police, which convinced many of its viewers that Moonshiners could be fake. The show is produced by Megillah Entertainment, which unfortunately has a reputation for creating unreal so-called reality programs. Nonetheless, Discovery Channel has held fast that Moonshiners is an honest account of the moonshining business and even refuses to place a disclaimer among its credits. A simple reminder how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving either an iPhone Max, iPad mini, or MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Moonshine has played an important role in American history, and since the show follows one of the most interesting subjects in American culture, it is bound to hide many intriguing trivia. As a documentary series filled with video content of what are normally illegal proceedings, Moonshiners swept a lot of secrets under the carpet. And despite being reality stars, the show's cast cannot avoid the law. For entertainment purposes, among the secrets uncovered here, a few trivial facts about moonshine in general will be thrown in. Moonshine might be most popular in the US, but the name originates from a British slang term used in earlier times. The term originally referred to any illegal activity done at night, and since the earliest production of the beverage, shortly following the end of the American Civil War in 1865, moonshine became a befitting name for the beverage. At the time, taxes on alcohol placed a hefty strain on the sale of liquor, encouraging American residents to brew or distill homemade alcohol, which was deemed illegal due to tax evasion. Today it goes by many names including Mountain Dew, Mule Kick, White Lightning, and Popsicle, to name a few. However, the beverage later gained illegal status due to dangerous concoctions people made, which could hold serious health implications. Methanol, a byproduct produced during the distilling of alcohol, can cause severe poisoning and even blindness. Unfortunately, without any regulations, some moonshiners wouldn't remove any methanol from their product, so giving it a stronger kick. Some moonshiners even used car radiators in the distilling process. This meant that traces of antifreeze often found its way into the beverage, and as a highly toxic substance, it could kill anyone who consumed the liquid. It might be hard to believe that America's most popular motor racing sport and event, NASCAR, finds its origins from the old moonshining trade, but it's true. If it wasn't for moonshine, NASCAR could have been a foreign concept. Back in the day, the best way to produce and distribute moonshine was to brew at night and deliver as quickly as possible. This most often meant that moonshiners would soup up cars that could easily outrun police vehicles. Eventually, moonshiners in Georgia began to race each other, pitting these muscle cars on dirt tracks against one another, simply for the sake of pride. It grew in popularity, and soon NASCAR became a national sport in the US. The spare time racing even attracted Canadian moonshiners over time and inspired a common theme explored in the Dukes of Hazzard films. Therefore, it is hardly any coincidence that the 50s and 60s NASCAR legend, Junior Johnson, was also a renowned moonshiner. In 2005, when Piedmont Distillers in North Carolina became the first legal moonshine distillery, they used recipes collected from Junior Johnson's living relatives to create their now famous brews. The name originated from England, but many might wonder who the first person was to create moonshine. It's made using the same process followed in creating whiskey, with only a few differences between the two alcoholic beverages that set it apart. The primary produce of whiskey, called white whiskey, looks the same as pure moonshine and changes its color only due to the aging process that follows. A second trait that sets whiskey apart is the strict process every whiskey distiller has to follow. Since no regulations force moonshiners to produce by a specific method, they make moonshine from just about anything, limited only by their creativity and preferred tastes. While no record exists of who created it first, nor of moonshine's country of origin, it is safe to say that the U.S. is not the only place you will find moonshine. In Libya, locals created a similar beverage traditionally called boka, and in Russia they call it semogen. The Scottish produce it as pietrik, South Africans enjoy their own variant called mampoer, and in Norway, it goes by the name gemmelbrent. In most countries, the production of moonshine remains an illegal trade for a variety of reasons, still mostly because of tax laws. One of the show's leading cast members, Stephen Tickle, who appears frequently and who became a fan favorite, once hoped to get into politics. Tickle admitted to a local newspaper that he intended to run for a state office in Southern Virginia, which would have made him the second reality television personality involved in politics. Of course, this was back in 2013, long before Donald Trump became president of the United States. However, legal implications prevented Tickle from entering into state office, and he realized that the show provided him with a bigger audience. As honorable as his intentions may have been, which Tickle stated as a desire to spread positive change, his past run-in with the law complicated his political endeavors. Tickle had been arrested no less than 3 times, but surprisingly on unrelated charges not concerned with his illegal moonshining. His first was for public intoxication, but sometime later, police found a sawed-off handgun in his car. Following this, in 2016, Tickle violated his probation conditions and admitted to abusing drugs, which resulted in a 12-month lengthening of his probation and forcing him to be on good behavior for the next 5 years. One of the moonshiners featured predominantly in the first season, an elderly gentleman by the name of Marvin "Popcorn" Sutton, who inspired the creation of moonshiners, used to be a renowned figure in the industry. His popularity with illegal moonshining made him one of the most famous moonshiners of the Appalachian Mountain regions, and he became the star figure of a documentary film by Neil Hutchinson back in 2002. The documentary won an Emmy Award, and all the appearances Sutton made in Moonshiners are footage from Hutchinson's film This Is the Last Damn Run of Liquor I'll Ever Make. Sutton's story and life fascinated many people because for decades Popcorn eluded the law, while continuing to operate one of the most successful distilleries in moonshining history. Sadly, Marvin passed away before Moonshiners made it onto television screens. ATF agents arrested Sutton in 2007 on charges of illegal distilling after he confessed to an undercover officer that he was in possession of more than 9 gallons of moonshine. Sutton pleaded guilty to the charges against him and received an 18-month prison sentence, but shortly afterwards, Marvin committed suicide. According to his daughter, he would rather die than serve time in jail, but many suspected that he committed suicide because of his cancer diagnosis. Tim Smith, a regular on the show and a fan favorite, has been in the business far longer than any of the other moonshiners featured in the series. Tim's initial introduction to moonshining started early in life, as his father also bootlegged when Tim was still a child. Thus, Smith is no stranger to the consequences of being caught, nor to the dangers law enforcement pose, but through the years has kept his record clean. At the age of 5, Tim experienced his first raid, when police investigating his father raided his property. During the raid, Tim's dad instructed him to hide the illegal liquor, and though Tim explained the scenario during an interview, he never said if it was successful. Nonetheless, his dad taught him everything he knows, and the hard trials of his childhood easily explained how Smith succeeded in all the years he shined. Even when police came to his house to confront him about the show, presenting footage of moonshiners as evidence of his illegal activities, Tim kept a cool head and invited the officers in for dinner. All the years of illegal brewing might have delayed the issue of his moonshining license, but he now produces the substance legally. Moonshiners and members of its cast are no strangers to misfortune, as the show ran into several problems. One of the first difficulties that popped up was Tim's day job, when people discovered that Tim actually had a respectable job, working as fire chief for Climax Volunteer Fire Department in Virginia. It caused an uproar of disapproval from fans. Most people consider firefighters as outstanding citizens, and so didn't support Tim's choice to bootleg on the side. However, as the show's popularity grew, people seemed to forget about Tim's day job, so long as he continued to promote Moonshiners. Misfortune also befell Josh Owens, who often appears on the show with his pooch Cutie Pie. And while fans like his dog more than they do him, losing everything is no joke. Josh used to be a professional motocross racer, and while away competing in a race back in 2017, his trailer caught fire. Josh shaved his truck, but lost all of his belongings in his trailer. No one knows what caused the fire, but thankfully Josh recovered from the loss and continued to appear in the show. Another incident very nearly caused trouble for the show when Chico drove his truck into a crowd. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the show pleaded no involvement with the incident, although Chico appeared in court on charges of driving under the influence. The Moonshiners fans adore so much may have been completely different from what it became since the original concept to document the legal moonshining industry. However, the producers determined that this concept would be far too boring to attract and bind a big enough audience to make success of the show. The original idea would also have involved focusing on the cultural impact and history of moonshiners in the US. Filming illegal activities, on the other hand, might get the show and its producers into serious trouble with authorities. Tim suggested to the producers that the show should film illegal moonshining in the woods, and evidently became responsible for the success of the show. Regardless, because of a lack of police interest, the true nature of Moonshiners remains disputed among fans, who think that the producers fake everything for the sake of entertainment, but don't care anyway. Fans are not the only ones who dispute the reality of Moonshiners, despite what Discovery Channel wants viewers to believe. During the first season of Moonshiners, Special Agent Jesse Tate of the Virginia ABC Bureau, responsible for investigating illegal tobacco and alcohol bootlegging, makes several appearances. However, after the first season made it onto screens, Jesse didn't make his return onto the show. Viewers may also have noticed that Jesse never interacts with the stars of the show like Tim and Tickle. The reasons for this was because the producers intentionally misled the Virginia ABC Bureau, along with Special Agent Tate, to believe that the show focused on documenting the history of illegal moonshining. After the first season went on air, the Virginia ABC Bureau condemned Discovery Channel with accusations of airing a false and misleading show. Despite their attempts to force the show to publish a disclaimer, the channel simply refused to comply and states that the show is an honest look into moonshining. Whether this is true remains disputed. To further cast a shadow of doubt about the realism of Moonshiners' authentic illegal activities, the production company's reputation raised even more red flags. Magilla Entertainment has also created several other popular reality shows, including Lakefront Bargain Hunt and Southie Rules, and investigations into these shows revealed secrets that the producers would rather have kept quiet and ultimately tarnish their reputation as reality creators. For instance, participants in the real estate reality show Lakefront Bargain Hunt bought their properties long before the producers started filming, and Southie Rules, a show that follows the life of a Boston family, depends heavily on scripting. It seems that Magilla Entertainment's misleading nature keeps going with Moonshiners, and with an already bad reputation, it becomes difficult to believe that the show is actually reality. However, despite all the suspicions about the realism of the show, Moonshiners will continue to entertain fans, especially now that its 10th season is on air. With all of these facts, hopefully it will make for even more interesting viewing and wouldn't dissuade viewers from tuning in.
I ain't got no liquor. I done give it away. Well, I believe I'm gonna head off the mountain if I can get this thing started.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.